Hey, you crazy cats! 42's live streams and videos are simply not available on vinyl. You will have to go to the YouTubes for that. So if you want content about British traditions and culture, cutting edge social commentary from an unapologetically patriotic perspective, along with a side order of madness you simply will not find anywhere else, then this is the place for you. And to all those early adapters in the chat, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That's how you get the good stuff, and make sure you never miss a tasty treat. So with that being said and done, squeeze yourself in. Let's get into it. You know you want to. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Please delete as applicable because the internet is worldwide and time zones are indeed a thing. Welcome to the show, and can I get a wee audio check there, please, in the chat? And I'll say a couple of hellos and I'll get a little bit of liquid. Oh. Right, here we go. Mandalay, first in. Hope you're still here. Budgie Burger, the best commenter on the internet. Anglo-Saxon, evening brother, glad to have you aboard. Mr. Paka, hoit. Linda's in from down under. What about you, chum? You will never, ever, ever catch me in Jack and Rags' annex or property or anywhere close to them up in that country culty place called Ballymena or wherever it is out there in the country with the pigs and chickens and goats and all that sort of stuff. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. I like my wee East Belfast too much. Pack out Linda. Special Ken Acids in. The wonderful Emma who will probably not be here for too long because the amount of hours that lady has worked this week is off the fucking chart. Yes. Give her a wee E in the chat for being overworked, and I hope you're doing okay. Linda and Special K, Linda and Special K. Hi, current comment. How's the audio doing? Is it coming through okay? Let's see. What have we got? We're going to talk a lot about May Day and our British culture and traditions around this time of year. How it fits into the natural year, where we're doing with all of that. But first, I'm going to give a couple of shout outs. The first one is tomorrow night at 7, although I think Bootneck said it might be starting late. They have the Angry Bootneck on as a guest. I know this because I was listening to a stream earlier on and he mentioned it, but he said 8 o'clock, so don't know if Dregs or Jack appears, you can ask them to check. And I cannot shout down to the upstairs or down them because I'm nowhere near them. So there's that tomorrow night. Robin, Courage is the Cure, girl from Australia, keeps you updated on all the stuff that's going on around the world. Very good. And also Rick, RPW Media, the brother of Jimmy from Philly. Not only does he do the shows, but he also has a whole media. It's an empire. He's got a media empire in the back end. If you want any in-depth information, you can go in there and find it. It's actually quite the setup he has. And hopefully at some stage, both of those will be back as guests soon. When I'm talking about guests that are coming up, Peter Benton, who we did the oral history with, a really lovely guy. is currently in the middle of moving house. Well, he's moving in. He's got a lot of work to do with the garden and stuff. I'm not sure exactly where he is with that, but he is well up for coming on whenever the time allows and he gets himself settled. So that's going to be good. Uh, what else have we got? May as well show my own stuff. I posted a blog post on WordPress. If you want to read that, you'll find it there. It's yeah, it's just me talking stuff about life and how things are going along. Also, if you do read that, you will see that I'm going through a stage of reorganization. Well, not reorganization, just organization. I have been very disorganized in pretty much everything I've done in my life. And I eventually got to the stage where I want a routine, and that will hopefully positively affect the show. I definitely want to write more. I want to do some social commentary type stuff as well. Look, there's about 3 million things that I would like to do. But in order to do any of them successfully and regularly, means I need to be organized. So I'm sorting out my life, figuring out where all my time is, when the time is to do this, and from that, that'll dictate what projects go forward, what projects do not, and also I want to be a bit more organized because I've got this to do that's mostly about culture and tradition. I've got the poetry stuff. I've got the blog that's just a mixture of everything, and I want to try to get a little bit more organized. I'm not quite sure who MMM is, but yeah, it's nice that DJ was replaying a stream with John. I have indeed got you. Yes, I have, and you're the thing that's staying constant. Just let you know, I love all the stuff that we do. I'm just being a bit more organized. Uh, you would think I might have got to an age where being organized and knowing what you're going to eat for dinner would be a good idea, but obviously I had not until all right. Now I get you. MMM was a moderator. That's okay. Yes, I do have the wonderful emoji, for which I'm eternally grateful. Very wonderful. Oh no, she was dots in. Just hit the like and hit the close the door behind her. Very good. Right. What else was I going to say? Did someone stream before me? I honestly don't know, boss. I know that Sansom has been very. We haven't Sansom streams due to is all down to his current work thing. I don't see anything on my notifications. But generally speaking, on a Saturday evening, I'm not really checking what's going on. I'm not sure if anybody that ever done it. I'm not being rude, but I like to have a bit of time before my show to set myself and do this rather than about watching other people's stuff. So I tend to not do that now. So don't know. But if any time I do know there's people that are going to be streaming before me, I do give them a shout out and thank the people that came along from that. Let's see. And I think we're going to start off this with a bit of a song. We're going to play a song, and then we're going to talk a bit about Mayday. I think that's the direction we're going to go in, and going with Ilky Moore, because I've got to quite like that. So we'll play that, and then we're going to talk about Mayday, and I'm going to get myself organized for tonight on Ilky Moore. Sure that.
Where hast thou been since I saw thee? On Ilklamo Batat. Where hast thou been since I saw thee? Where hast thou been since I saw thee? On Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. There's been a courty Mary Jane on Ilklamo Batat. There's been a court in Mary Jane. There's been a court in Mary Jane. On Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. They'll go and get the death a cowl on Ilklamo Batat. They'll go and get the death a cowl. They'll go and get the death a cowl. On Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. Then we shall have to bury thee on Ilklamo Batat. Then we shall have to bury thee. Then we shall have to bury thee on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. Then the worms will come and net thee up on Ilklamo Batat. Then the worms will come and net thee up. Then the worms will come and net thee up on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. Then the ducks will come and net up worms on Ilklamo Batat. Then the ducks will come and net up to worms. Then the ducks will come and net up to worms on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. Then us will come and net up to ducks on Ilklamo Batat. Then us will come and net up to ducks. Then us will come and net up to ducks on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. Then us will all have it and thee on Ilklamo Batat. Then us will all have it and thee. Then us will all have it and thee on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat. That's where we'll get our Owen back on Ilklamo Batat. That's where we'll get our Owen back. That's where we'll get our Owen back on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat, on Ilklamo Batat.
There we go. That right, right. Close that down. Right. Okay. That was Ilky Moore by Tat, and now we're going to talk about Mayday, and this is coming from. Ta-da! This is coming from Historic UK. I think this may be a little small. I will check this on the StreamYard. That is very small. I'm going to increase that size. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a couple of different sources here, and the this is how you do the actual research. You gotta look at a couple of different sources and then try to figure your own way through the thing. So we'll be going through a couple of them, and you will, as always, get my very placid opinions. Not opinionated at all, says he, as he's about to rip these apart, probably. Carol, welcome aboard. Uh, Thank you very much for tuning in. And now we're going to hear about Mayday. That still looks small. Right. Here we go. Many folklore customs have their roots planted firmly back in the Dark Ages when the ancient Celts, put a pin in that, had divided their year by four major festivals. Beltane, or the Fire of the Bell, had particular significance to Celts as it represented the first day of summer and was celebrated with bonfires to welcome the new season. Still celebrated today, we perhaps know Beltane better as May Day or May the 1st. Now, what's going to be very interesting here is how far back these celebrations go. Because if they go back to where I believe they do, those Celts would have needed a time machine, because I believe this predates the Celts. But let's read on. Down through the centuries, May Day has been associated with fun, revelry, and perhaps most important of all, fertility. Yes, it has. The day would be marked with village folk cavorting around the maypole. Yes, they do. And hopefully on Monday, I shall be live streaming some maypole dancing from Holywood, County Down, Northern Ireland. Monday morning, hopefully. The selection of the May Queen and the dancing figure of the Jack of the Green, or the Green Man, at the head of the procession. Jack is thought to be a relic from those enlightened days when our ancient ancestors worshipped trees. That definitely predates the Celts. These pagan roots, yes, they were pagans. Pagan simply means pre-Christian or non-Christian religion. That's all that means. It could be any one of a number of many different religions that were formally practiced but not part of the Church of Rome. And it was the Church of Rome that gave them the name, I believe. These pagan roots did little to endear these May Day festivities with either the established church or state. But then the festivities came before the church. In the 16th century, riots followed when May Day celebrations were banned. 14 rioters were hanged, and Henry VIII is said to have pardoned the further 400 who had been sentenced to death. I think those riots were not to do with May Day. The May Day festivities all but vanished following the English Civil War when Oliver Cromwell and his Puritans took control of the country in 1645, describing maypole dancing as heathenish family, generally abused to superstition and wickedness. The Puritans would have thought that. Legislation was passed which saw the end of village maypoles throughout the country, but yet they persisted. And there's a little picture of marsh dancers with maypoles. Scroll down past this advertisement. Dancing did not return to the village greens until the restoration of Charles II. The merry monarch helped to ensure the support of his subjects with the erection of a massive 40-metre-high maypole in London Strand. The pole signalled the return of fun times and remained standing for almost 50 years. Maypoles can still be seen in the village greens at Welford-on-Avon, at Dunchurch Warwickshire, both of which stand all year round. Berwick in Yorkshire claims the largest maypole in England, standing some 86 feet in height. And the importance of the height is the more shaft you have on it, the more ribbons you can wrap around it. May Day is still celebrated in many villages with the crowning of the May Queen. The gentlemen of the village may also be found celebrating with Jack o' the Green, otherwise found on the signs of pubs across the country called the Green Man. I'm sure you've all seen a Green Man pub. May Day traditions in southern England include the hobby horses that still rampage through the town of Dunster and Minehead in Somerset, as well as Pedstew in Cornwall. The horse, or the oss, as it's normally called, is a local person dressed in flowing robes wearing a mask with a grotesque but colourful caricature of a horse. In Oxford, May Day morning is celebrated from the top of Magdalene College Tower by the singing of a Latin hymn or carol of thanksgiving. After this, the college bell signal the start of the march dancing in the streets below. So these are just different events that happens across England on May Day. Further north in Castletown, Derbyshire, Oak Apple Day takes place on the 29th of May, commemorating the restoration of Charles II to the throne. Followers within the procession carry sprigs of oak, recalling the story that the exiled King Charles hid in an oak tree to avoid capture by his enemies. It is important to remember that without the Merry Monarch, May Day celebrations might have come to a premature end in 1660. Or they may not. This is a really interesting thing that I am just picking up on. Whenever you're, is this going to highlight? Please highlight. Yep. Fuck off. Right. It is important to remember. We must remember this, that without the Merry Monarch, so this is what this king did. For is it so good? May Day celebrations might have come to a premature end in 1660, which also means they might not. But the inference is that this king saved May Day, which I do not believe to be entirely accurate. And I think that the problems with the May Day celebrations were connected to arguments between rival factions. But let's not let any of that get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one out, remove, and I'm going to check the comments. Budgie Burger was Peter Pan. So I'm just checking through the comments. Oh yes, there will be hobby horses. There will be hobby horse videos later on. There's ankles in. We call horses osses in Staffordshire. Interesting. It may be early for nut gathering, but most of May Day is about nut emptying. Right. I think I'm caught up with the comments. And this computer is glitchy as fuck tonight. Unfortunately, I'm not much more smooth, but sure, we'll just have to put up with that at the minute. We'll stop that screen, and we're going to do our next bit of Mayday, and this is from the Standard. This is what a newspaper is going to tell you. If you read the news to find out about Mayday, the Standard will tell you this information. And we will compare and contrast. Let's see what I'm like. Has it even come up yet? There's Brad James is in. What about you, chum? Welcome aboard. Right. I'll tell you what's like, it's full of advertisements. It's also a little small, so I'm going to zoom this one in again as well. I'll give you one. Right. Sorry about that, people. I think the change in the weather has got me a little bit mixed up with my heating situation. I'm overheating a bit, and then my throat's getting dry. It's all mad. Right, here we go. Right, this is from the Standard, right? Newspaper. What is Mayday? Exploring its history and how it's celebrated. From celebrations that's thousands of years old to Workers' Day of protest, here's everything to know about Mayday in 2025. And here we have a nice picture of some children dancing around the maypole. That's in it well. May is just around the corner, bringing with it more school holidays and bank holidays to look forward to. But before the long weekend at the end of the month, we get May Day, which always falls on the first Monday and comes with a colourful and at times surprising history. I wonder what's surprising the Standard about the history. So, what is the history of May Day? The history of May Day is long and layered, blending ancient pagan customs, seasonal celebrations, and workers' rights movements across centuries. And we are going to come on to this where it says workers' rights movements. What they mean is communism. The UK officially recognised the early May bank holiday in 1978, introduced by Labour's Michael Foot. That's why we have May Day as a public holiday, not because of any of our traditional stuff. May Day traces back to pre-Christian festivals that welcomed the arrival of spring and new life. In Celtic Britain and Ireland, that's a fairy tale place because there was no large numbers of Celts in Britain. They invaded Ireland around 250 BC. The people you call Celts in Wales and Scotland are actually Britons. And they have taken the names that those people used and called it Celtic. That's how completely they have stolen the history. It was celebrated as Beltane, a fire festival marking the halfway point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. It involved bonfires, dancing rituals to encourage fertility and a good harvest. In ancient Rome, a similar springtime festival called Floralia honored Flora, the goddess of flowers and fertility. You're going to get this coming back. This is a lot about fertility. This is about making the land fertile so that you're going to have a good crop and the seeds that you plant will do well. Over time, May Day became a fully celebration in medieval Europe, with customs such as maypole dancing, crowning of May Queens, and decorating homes with flowers, all symbols of fertility, youth, and nature. It remained a day of merrymaking and community gathering, often seen as a cheerful escape from daily life. Uh, unless it's Brighton 64 when the mods and rockers go to each other, but that's basically what it's about. Okay, the workers' rights bit. May first gained political significance in the late 19th century. It became an International Workers' Day after the Haymarket Affair in 1886 in Chicago, where a peaceful protest for an 8-hour workday turned deadly. That's a very strange way to say the strikers attacked the police. In 1889, the International Socialist Congress declared May the 1st a day to honour workers' struggles. It was later adopted in socialist and communist countries, especially in the Soviet Union, where massive May Day parades became the norm. But here's the kicker, people. May Day was already celebrated, or a version of, in the countries where they did this. So they took a day where everybody wanted to be off work because they may pull a dance around and shit or other such stuff. They had their festivities or celebrations, whatever way they marked it, that had to be moved to the weekend before or after. And they says, right here, what we'll do is we'll give you a day off, but it's not free to go and do your stuff. It's to go and parade for workers. And yeah, that's basically how that goes. But what they were doing is co-opting the already existing day in celebration and changing its meaning is what they were attempting to do, which is a very common thing. The maypole is a traditional symbol of May Day celebrations, especially in Britain and parts of Europe. It's typically a tall wooden pole decorated with coloured ribbons, flowers, and sometimes greenery. The one in Hollywood that I'll be going to is a metal one because the wooden one, it's in a very small market town. It's on a roundabout and cars have it, and the wooden one is no more, and the metal one does better after it gets pranked by a car. People, often children, dance around the maypole, each holding a ribbon, weaving in and out to create a pattern around the pole. Yes, they do. In the Middle Ages, maypole dances became a staple of May Day festivities. The pole itself symbolised male fertility, while the surrounding baskets and garlands were linked to female fertility. This all begins before Celts are a thing. Hold on. I will check the date now. One momento. Right, okay. Just checking in with my little thing. Yes. 517 BC, Greek historian Hepticus of Miletan Keto was the first person to record the Celts, and at that time they were in Europe and had not moved across the sea to even Ireland. It was just off. It would be about another 250 years. Now, these medieval towns in England that they are saying that this is a Celtic festival existed long before that. So, if it's a Celtic tradition, the Celts had a time machine. Or it could be a tradition of European people that has been given to the Celts because, well, fuck everything, just Celtic. I think the Scots are taking the piss with fucking eggs and tape and stuff and just putting the name Scots in front of it. Where do you think they got the idea from? The pole itself symbolises male fertility, while the surrounding baskets and garland were linked to female fertility. Yes, so the pole itself is obviously a phallic symbol, an embodiment of a cock that all of these ladies dance around and make nice pictures with the ribbons. So there you go. Villages would often compete to erect the tallest maypole, with dancing around it representing the coming together of the community and the renewal of life. And also the fact that the renewal of life is indeed a effort for the whole town. Mayday is celebrated in the UK as a springtime festival and in some places a nod to Labour history. Some places in fucking Labour Party conferences and shit like that. Yellow flowers symbolising the fruitfulness of spring remain a common sight. Maypole dancing and May Fair still occur in towns and villages across the UK, some more elaborate than others. An old tradition you might like to revive is the anonymous May basket drop off. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, people would leave small baskets of flowers or seeds on neighbours' doorsteps, knock and run away before being spotted. All right, so if you wanted to give your neighbour a couple of plants or whatnot, you could do it in that day. Maybe if what they were growing and they're currently growing in their garden was a bit stinky, maybe a little garlic or something that you don't like the smell of, you give them something else, and hopefully they'll put that closer to your border. But there you go. In some towns, more unique events are still going strong. Cornwall's Palasto Obios Festival is one of the most famous. Well, I haven't checked the comments in ages. I had this. I only came back to check the comments because I had a sudden dawn that it could have actually been muted. I heard the Victorians started the children dancing around the pole due to it being considered risky. Yes. Well, the other thing is the pole would have been used in the daytime by the children, and then later on by the adults, and the having the children doing is also part of getting them ready for sooner or later they're going to be a grown up girl and they will be dancing around that maypole for real. Slap a massive fish in your face festival. Exactly, Budgie Burger, Northern Britons. Right, that's me up to date. Right, where was I? I was in this one. We've done that. Is May a UK bank holiday in 2025? Although May Day itself falls on a Thursday, May the 1st, the early May bank holiday is set for Monday 5th. As always, lands on the first Monday of the month. And now here's the thing. This is another major issue because everything is calling this a bank holiday. The word public holiday has been removed from the discourse. And that in itself is incredibly nefarious. I'm going to be writing to my member of parliament about this because what's happened is bank holidays and public holidays are two totally separate things. One pertains mainly to office staff, and one pertains to working people in factories and all that sort of stuff. So we have a bunch of public holidays that are slightly different than England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, but everybody gets those days off. And then we also have bank holidays, but the public holidays are set on days that are also bank holidays. So, and the working people aren't that worried about them moving bank holidays about, but they're moving public holidays with them. And these are things that we have fought over years for days off for particular reasons. And they're going to end up taken away from us if we are not careful. So 2nd May bank holiday, spring bank holiday, which falls on Monday the 26th of May, which us working people do not fucking get. Yep, and that's all the standard has on that. And with that, I'm going to remove that and shut down a couple of tabs. Hold on a moment. We are 40 minutes in, and I think we're going to have a video interlude, and I think we're going to have harmony, melody, and rhyme. I think we're going to do that. And then we shall do some more Mayday. And the reason why we're doing this one is because it's a bit of a community feel to it. Yeah, the bank holiday started because the banks were shifting everything with paper and it needed some days to move all that paper with nobody else working. So the banks get it, the government workers get it, the office staff generally get it, but the working people, if you're going to work in a factory or a building site or something, no, you don't get that bank holiday off, but you do get the public holidays off. And companies are required by the government to give them these particular days off, and they claim that money back off the government. It's not the companies giving you that day off, it's the government. And the fact that they're being shifted about is very fucking nefarious. The other thing is, we in Northern Ireland, 2 of our public holidays are the 12th and 13th of July, which commemorate the Battle of the Boyne, and they're both public holidays, but only the 12th is a bank holiday, and they're trying to shuffle about the 13th. And to be totally honest with you, I don't know anybody that's fit for going to work on the 13th of July. So that's the issues with that. Right, here's harmony, melody, and rhyme.
Hello, this is 42 speaking. Welcome to the Resistance. You are not alone, and we shall walk this journey together. What about you, John? If one brings a guitar and one brings a voice, then they stand together and make their own choice. Let us gather together those that can perform, and from the scarred timbers build our own platform. From that grand house they tried to burn down, there's gold in the ashes if you look around. Let us gather together those that can perform, then from those scarred timbers build our own platform. Build our own platform. We will sing words of wisdom. We will sing world harmony, melody, and rhyme. We descended from minstrels in old days of yore. We will create a culture as we did once before, forced to stand by as our country was sold. Did you really think we'd leave that story untold? So one brings a guitar and one brings a voice, then they stand together and make their own choice. They have seen the future, the way forward is clear. Among us still stands a modern day Shakespeare. They have seen the future, the way forward is clear. Among us stand by as our country was sold. Did you really think we'd leave that story untold? We will sing words of wisdom. We will sing sing harmony, melody, pride. Harmony, melody, and pride. So one brings a guitar and one brings a voice. Then they stand together and make their own choice. I have seen the future, the way forward is clear. Among us still stands a modern day Shakespeare. Never realized you could not kill a dream. So we will gather together those that can perform, and from the scarred timbers build our own platform. You're talking to 42. What about you, chum? If one brings a guitar and one brings a voice, then they stand together and make their own choice. Sing words of wisdom, we will sing for all time. We will sing for our people, harmony, melody, and rhyme. We will sing words of wisdom, we will sing for all time. We will sing for our people with the ancient trilogy of harmony, melody, rhyme.
Right, there we go. Back again. Right. It's one of the comments from Brad I was going to. Yep. You're required to work at least one bank holiday. And Tesco's, interestingly, the retail has got an exemption from making you work or from giving you off that exact day. But what they are supposed to do is give you double time for the day that you work and a day in lieu, and no complaints about which day in lieu you choose. So that's what you're supposed to get out of that deal. That's how it works. Now we're going to move on to Beltane, which would be the more pagan version. Actually, before we dive into that, talk a little bit about the natural year and what I've been doing and all of that stuff. If you want to know more about that, the blog post is about my personal organization that's going on. But as I've said before, I started to I did the proper Christmas and set up my New Year's resolutions, and I was gonna save money and do this, that, and the other. And whenever I tried to fucking do anything, I realized that I had a shitload of disorganization, and it has taken me, yeah, we're now in their fifth month, and it's starting to feel like I've got a fucking routine. A lot of that is down to the following natural year, and also I did a version of Lent where I tracked every penny that I spent, and still couldn't figure out why I was spending so much money on fucking food and stuff, and was all down to disorganization. So, how your natural year works: you start off, you plan what you intend to make better. Then Easter comes, coming up to Easter, you tighten your belt in, you get yourself organized, you get ready for this festival of fertility because you want to be in good shape for that. You want to know that you've got your ducks in a row. You want to know that if you pull, you could fucking make something of it. You want to recommit to your current partner. You want to go here. Look what I'm unveiling for you for this year. You want to be getting yourself better. It's took me a bit longer than what I wanted to, but I might actually be getting there. I separated the chaff from the chaff. To be clear, whenever I'm talking about a load of changes, my political opinions are all pretty much exactly where they were. If anything, we've got a little bit stronger in certain directions, but nothing. There's no radical changes. I love my country. I love me MG. I don't want to change, but my just fucking day to day routine of how I went about things was totally fucked. And I had a lot of. I'll give you an example. Oh fuck! I had a bath the other day. That's another thing, but I was in the bath and I got out of the bath, and on my towel reel, I've got these two blue, really fluffy hotel quality towels that have been on that reel from I put the fucking reel up, and every 6 months they get took off when the washing machine to go back up, and they sit there as decoration. Just nice. Oh fuck it, mate! It went much further in the room. I was getting out of the bath and I went, fuck it, I'm going to use that towel. And it was lovely and it was really comfy. And I had this startling realization that not only is the fucking towel mean you didn't keep the towels right. You know, you get a slap and a fucking argument for not having the towels just right. I'd recreated that in my own fucking house. You know, I carried personal behaviors from a past life into this one, and we're not doing me any good whatsoever. And yeah, I'm fitting through those and sorting them out. If you want to know the details, I believe I still have that. Yes, if you want to hear the details about some of that bullshit and also what's going on and hopefully what's going to come next. I do hope to, whenever I'm better organized, bring out more content. That would be the plan. We will see. But so this is where Beltane fits into your natural year. It's where you're recommitting yourself to the land, to your partner, to whatever, and a couple of other interesting bits and pieces. And here we go. Beltane. Share screen. How to celebrate Beltane. This is from Shishander and Bergmount, whatever the hell they are. Anyway, Beltane is a pagan holiday celebrated on 1st of May, marking the end of winter and the beginning of summer. It is a time when the god and the goddess are in equal power, and the masculine and feminine energies are united. The holiday celebrates their sacred union through traditions such as fertility rites, fire festivals, dancing around the maypole. Beltane, where the fuck's the X to close that thing off? Right. Just not going to get rid of the odds in this. Beltane is also known as May Day to some. It falls. Beltane is also known as May Day to some. It falls. Hello, 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 hello. Is this working? Hello. Is this working? Right. Fuck me. Well, it's not working on my screen. Can you see me? No. Add the stage. Nah. Maybe that one. Hello, 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 hello. I don't want to be on that one. Fid shake. Black screen. Yeah. That's fucking. I'm trying. Right. Right. Okay. Can. Is this coming up? Can people hear anything? Yeah. Them kneecap lads have kneecapped me. Back. Right. I'm back. Right. I'm not even going to try to move this back over to the middle of the stage. All good. Right. We're back. Right. Yeah. I'm not going to attempt to make it up into the. I'm not going to try to make it into the larger one because the last time I tried that, fucking, I got nothing whatsoever. What I'm going to do is attempt to present this and get back to where we were. Now, has this worked? Oh, fuck no. Now my comments have got, right, the comments are back. Oh, fuck. I tell you what, it's gonna be. It's gonna fucking be. Because they'll just invent it with all their other bullshit. But that would sound about right. It's looking good. Right. Here we go. Right. Many people celebrate Valentine because it's time of new beginning and it's perfect to start afresh, leave behind the old. It is also a time to celebrate the coming of summer and the abundance of life that it brings. Beltime is time to celebrate the fertility of the earth and the union between the earth mother and the fertility god. Beltane is also a time to celebrate love and passion, and I've just realised, holy fuck, you just missed the first chunk list. Right, hold on. It is a time to honor sacred feminine and celebrate the union between the masculine and feminine energies. Many people celebrate Beltane by lighting bonfires, dancing around the maypole, making love. It is time to celebrate new unions and honor the love that already exists. I already said all this, but I guess I shall say it again. It's a time for recommitting yourself to your life, to your family, to it's this fucking page. Right, hold on. I think this. I think we're gonna have to not use that link. It's pole dancing Celtic. Don't know, right? I'm going to ditch that link and try a different one because it seems to be having issues. Uh, right, we shall try this one. Share screen. Come on. You can do it. How do I get that? Okay. This is a pagan grimoire. Beltane, the festival of fire and fertility. And here's a nice little maypole. This one's got nicely decorated with foliage and stuff. Beltane is a Celtic fire festival and pagan holiday that falls between the spring equinox, Orsta, and the summer solstice, Lether, on the modern wheel of the year. Those Celts had a time machine because it's not a Celtic festival. It originated before the Celts. Beltane was celebrated on May the 1st in the Northern Hemisphere, marks the beginning of the summer in the ancient Gaelic culture. Gaels and Celts are two separate peoples, as are Gauls. It's just different. Historically, the pagan Sabbath has ancient Celtic roots that predate the Celts, like the other fire festivals, Embolic, Shaman, and Lunashara. It is celebrated with large bonfires, livestock blessings, and community rites meant to protect the land and encourage fertility. Its name Beltane, pronounced Beltane, Beltana, comes from the Old Irish Beltane, often translated as bright fire. In modern times, Wiccans and neo-pagans have incorporated Beltane into the wheel of the year. So the wheel, if it's been incorporated into it, that means it was not originally there, which means they're fabricating their theology. And once you've started to fabricate one part, it becomes very easy to put in other bits because what are you losing? The truth's already gone. Often emphasizing themes of fertility, sacred union, and celebration of nature's peak energy. While the sacred union of God and goddess and dancing around the maypole were not part of the original Celtic rites, they are common and contemporary observances. Would that be because there's no maypoles in Celtic places? Blending historical inspiration with modern spiritual practice. For those interested in celebrating Beltane today, here are some rituals, recipes, and altar ideas to get you started. So here we go. We've got tasks with things to do. We're going to explain how you celebrate this traditional festival. Beltane is one of the four major fire festivals in the ancient Gaelic calendar, alongside Chumach and Isma. Its earliest mentions appear in the medieval Irish literature, including Tomonic Emira, the ruling of Emmer, where it's associated with significant seasonal Okay, people, can you hear me? Am I a small square off to the side, and can you hear me? Audio and pick good. Right, people, I've come to a conclusion. That's twice. What's happening is while I'm in there reading, I'm getting turfed right out of the StreamYard studio. There's something that's not right here. Uh, and the audio's low. Fuck's sake. People, yeah, Mayday, Mayday. I think what I'm going to do is play. I'm going to see if I can do this. Can't even play the furry dance. Right. Let's see. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to drive myself mad with this. So I'm going to attempt to play this video on the furry dance. I'm going to get through that. I'll do an outro, and then I'm going to bugger off, I think, because this is just not working tonight. Let's see. Can we get this to work?
For 364 days in the year, Helston in Cornwall is a typically old English market town. You might say quietly dignified. But on the remaining day, it has an atmosphere of infectious gaiety that draws people from all over the country. For this is the famous annual furry dance. There are many tales as to the origin of the dance, which is generally accepted as having descended from a pagan ritual, while its meaning, a triumph of life, is spring after winter, the passing from darkness into light. Only the Helston Town Band can play the famous tune as it should be played, for it has no written score. The parts are passed on through the years by successive bandmasters, jealous for its tradition and its rendering. The most modern part of the festival is the children's dance, with as many as 500 taking part. The girls of each school wear distinctive garlands in their hair, while the boys have lilies of the valley pinned to their shirts. For the principal dance at midday, the men wear top hats and morning suits, while their partners put on their most attractive dresses. For the occasion, remembering its solemn meaning, is, after all, a time of dignity as well as joy. One of the legends connected with the custom tells of an aerial battle between St. Michael the Archangel and the devil for possession of Helston. The inhabitants celebrated the defeat of Satan by dancing through the streets. But today, with no such excuse, the dance still remains as a yearly event in this colourful world.
Right, hold on.
After 5 fruits, I ain't never going back. So fruity, so thick, I ain't never going back. So from the pack, morning, noon, or late night snack. Give me that vibe. Mango passion, coconut, straw.
Right, we'll see. Does this work? Here's one with words.
I thought I could hear the curious tone of the cornet, clarinet, and big trombone, fiddle, cello, big bass drum, bassoon, a flute, and euphonium. Each one making the most of his chance, all together in the floral dance. As I walked home on a summer night, the stars in heaven were shining bright. Far away from the footlights' glare, into the sweet and scented air of a quaint old Cornish town. Borne from afar on a gentle breeze, joining the murmur of summer seas, distant tones of an old world dance, played by the village band, perchance on the calm air came floating down. I thought I could hear the curious tone of the cornet, clarinet, and big trombone, fiddle, cello, big bass drum, bassoon, flute, and euphonium. Each one making the most of his chance, all together in the floral dance. All together in the floral dance. And soon I saw such a bustling and prancing. Then I saw the whole village dancing. In and out of the houses they came. Old folk, young folk, all the same in that quaint old Cornish town. Every boy took a girl round the waist and hurried her off in tremendous haste. Whether they knew one another, I care not. Whether they cared at all, I know not. But they kissed as they danced along. And there was the band with the curious tone of the cornet, clarinet, and big trombone, fiddle, cello, big bass drum, bassoon, flute, and euphonium. Each one making the most of his chance, all together in the floral dance. All together in the floral dance. Dancing here, prancing there, jogging, jogging everywhere. Up and down and around the town. Hurrah for the Cornish floral dance.
Oh, fuck. You prefer kneecap? All right, hold on. I'm going to take that out. I think we might have pulled a little bit of our success from the jaws of victory, and I can even give you some commentary on this. Now, two things I want to mention. One is, you notice that's the same tune that they use, the traditional tune from the Dance Through the Town. Terry Wogan has taken and brought it into popular culture without damaging it and keeping the song very well on point with the tradition and whatnot. So there's that, and that shows you how our traditions can evolve but remain intact, which is what we need. It's also how tradition moves from one generation to the next. Now, I'm going to come back to that in a bit and tie it all up nice and neatly with a bow. I've got some examples of how that's done. You'll like this. But the other thing about that dance is you'll notice that they all interchanged partners. That's quite important for me because it was all about spreading fertility. And for that, you need three things. Now, let's see. I don't think I want to put anything else up on the screen. This is fine. Let's see. Sorry, sorry, right. Yep. Things that you can do for belting. I'm not putting this up on the screen because we've lost it too many times. I'm going to read from this. Some things that you can do. Have a bonfire. Yes. What the town would have done is they would have in the little village or whatever, they would have fuck. This is going again. Quick glance and you're in love. Right. Fuck me. Right. So what they would have done was they would have extinguished all the fires in their houses, lit the communal fire, had the communal fire, then everybody would have used that fire to light their new fire for the new year, with all the old embers swept clean and everything like that. These festivals would have involved alcohol, hallucinogenics, and there was a ceremony that could be carried out called hand tying, where they would tie a ribbon or a string around the wrists of a young man, a young lady, and they would be hand tied, basically married for a year and a day, which meant that they could go off, copulate, possibly bring a child in the world. After a year and a day, either one of them could go, "This doesn't work, you fuck off." And because the festival went for a year and a day, she could not hook up again at the same festival next year and have another illegitimate child. So it spurred that as well. And the other thing, oh yes, our ancestors got off their tits. And in some places, the tradition was for the seed to pass from the man to the woman, from the woman to the soil. And the more seed that went through the women onto the soil from the more different men, the better the crop was going to be. So they got off their tits and had orgies. Now, with hand tan or the other thing like going to main is a little more intimate in that you only need your current partner. And going to main is where people would sneak off into the woods and copulate and help fertilize the whole place. And this is a bit that's really strange because you find it difficult to get people involved in our old traditions. And I'm thinking, here's your opportunity. You can bugger off in the woods with your partner. You can have sex. And if anybody's got any complaints, you go, "Here, mate, tell you what it is. It's an ancient fucking festival where we have to do this. Now fuck off and mind your own business." And we can't even sell people on doing that. It's mad. But they do not do it in Manchester with the same reverence. And they don't actually do it with their current partner. It's whoever the fuck happens to be there. It's slightly different. Yes, fertilize that fucking egg. And I'll tell you the other thing. Ain't going to be any sexless relationships whenever things like this are incorporated into it. And both partners know that sex is an important part of the natural cycle and relationships and all of that stuff. So you'll renew and become more intimate with your partner through doing this. You know, well, sorry, I was trying. That's one. But they have a pride these days. Yes, but here's the thing. This is for heterosexual people, not for their fucking deviant madness. And I think you'll find that the reason why they're so interested in having sexuality and pride things is because we used to have sexuality in our proper traditions. All right, Lothar. Oh, those Puritans and the No Nut November people are all fucking leftists, Sheila. that have been injected in to try to fucking do that. Those all those fucking abstinence and fucking MGTOW monks and all that bullshit. That comes from the left. The left are very good at getting into our spaces, and oh fuck, I would love him to. I would let if he's going to make a techno track, I would really like to give him better material than this because it ain't been brilliant. Right, I'm all out of sorts. I'm going to be cutting this short, so that's just pretty much up to date with Mayday, and I'll live stream the Maypole dancing and whatever I can get on that. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give this a whirl, see does it work. Actually, I'm not even going to try. Oh, the original Wicker Man is a fucking excellent show. I love that show. Right. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play an outro and then go because reevaluate what's going on with this computer. So I don't quite know. I think we will have Eats the Bugs. Yep, we will have Eat the Bugs. I'll put the comments up on the screen. Up on the screen. If it's going to work. My device is having trouble sharing that. Let's see. Video file. Is it going to go? Is it going to go? It's trying. The circle swirling. No, that's not going to work. Hold on. Right. Let's see how this goes. That's not going to go either. This is fucking Here we go. Find something I can play. We'll try this. Oh. Right. Here we go. Right. We're going to hopefully have Oh My Way as the play out.
Life full of toil and strife we whalermen undergo, and we don't give a damn when the day is done how hard the winds did blow. 'Cause we're homeward bound from the Arctic around with a good ship taut and free. And we don't give a damn when we drink our rum with the girls of old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Once more we sail with a northerly gale towards our island home. Our mainmast sprung, our whaling done, and we ain't got far to roam. 6 hellish months we passed away on the cold Kamchatka Sea. But now we're bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Once more we sail with a northerly gale to the ice and wind and rain. Them coconut fronts, them tropical lands we soon shall see again. Our stunsail's bones is carried away, what care we for that sound? A living gale is after us, thank God we're homeward bound. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. How soft the breeze through the island trees, now the ice is far astern. Them native maids, them tropical glades is awaiting our return. Even now their big brown eyes look out, hoping some fine day to see our baggy sails running for the gales, rolling down to old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui.
Right. Something I almost forgot. Right. Right. Okay. Almost forgot. Yes, we still have not got a. We have still not got a new pope, so you can hear me going. Hope you heard that. That's my evening beer, celebrating the fact that we do not currently have a pope, and that will end whenever they obviously elect one. And the other thing is, May the 3rd was indeed the birthday of Northern Ireland. It was created in May in 1921. And I'm going to obviously have a little song to celebrate our wee country. Here we go. This is Lisa from Battalion singing Wee Spot in Europe from the Ulster Hall celebrations in 2012.
There's a wee spot in Europe. It's a place of great pain. Lies in the Northland, and all the earth is new. It's a small place, it's happy. But all what we have, and it's held no fears of heaven. It's all level down as we go our friendship like we are. Just some brothers and sisters, and it's all stand as one and drink to our ancestors, her heroes and sons. And while we are chosen to victory must join, that a wicked prince of homage, the past on the boy, that a wicked prince of homage, and the thanks of the
Oh, fuck. There we go. That was Respot in Europe. Well, Lisa from Battalion. Here. Oh. Let's see. Lisa from East Belfast, Ulster Hall.
Well, I am a loyal Ulster. They say this day that I must die. Well, I fought the IRA, and they say that I must stay. Well, they say this day that I must die. Okay,
Uh, that's the Ulster Hall, which on the inside is very similar to the Royal Albert Hall. Not quite as large, not as grand, but it's strikingly similar. That's my people. That's Ulster, Northern Ireland. Another year older, another year still under siege, but still standing. And with that, I will say that I've been 42. You lot in the chat have, as always, been fucking amazing. And also, thank you so much for sticking with me through the technical issues. No, Dawn, that was somebody else that was there that night. I was there that night, but I didn't have a camcorder with me. And I was singing. And I did have my Ulster flag. Really good. So, good night. God bless. See us all next week. See us all, hopefully, on Monday for a live stream with the Mayfair and Hollywood County Down. I'm out of here. Good night. God bless. Goodbye.